You got to go back 46 races to find the last win for Denny Hamlin. But after a long day on the huge track at Pocono, this number 11 team is back in victory lane, a place they're used to being. 2 times they have visited the winner's circle here, and now this team has the weight of their shoulder of the world off of their shoulders. They are winners, and they have had a huge points day as well. Hello, everybody. I'm John Roberts. He's Jimmy Spencer. He is Kenny Wallace. If you're tuning in for Twin right now, you got us instead from victory lane at Pocono. And not only did we see a great win for Denny Hamlin today, but honestly, guys, as far as Pocono goes, we saw some great racing on the track and a little bit of controversy along the way.
One of the greatest races I've ever seen at Pocono, without a doubt, the whole day. The double file restart shootout style, what caused, but I got to bring this up. Denny Hamlin. Kenny, he needed this day. He was slipping. Even though he was 6th in the points or 5th in the points, wherever it was, he was not secure.
Last week at Indy, Denny Hamlin, you know, he's trying to come back, he's trying to get it, and all of a sudden it doesn't turn out the way he wants. Finally, the gear shifter stays on the transmission. He makes it past 1 lap here finally at Pocono. My point is, he has had so many frustrations. Remember the last race here at Pocono? Yeah. He did not make it to turn 1.
Fuel problem.
Right.
Yeah, so all that is in the past now for Denny Hamlin and crew as they have another victory here at Pocono. And again, when you look at the championship standings, this could not come at a better time, as now we have 5 races to go before the chase cutoff. It was with 10 laps to go out on the racetrack that Denny Hamlin passed Clint Boyer and went on to never look back. And guys, I think we can say after this that the strongest car did win this race.
Yes, without a doubt, this was the strongest car all day long. The 48 was good, the 2, the 9. But you know, Denny Hamlin very emotional with fans, and the reason why he lost his grandmother this week. 1 year ago, I lost my mother, so I have a feeling what Denny's going through. This will help Kenny solve, but it still doesn't help what took away, but yet it helps soothe.
Well, we've documented interviews right here on Speed with Denny Hamlin. You know, Denny, you're hard on yourself. He says, man, I just want to do better. You know, he's up in the points, but he wanted to win. You know, he's won 2 races here in the past. This is the first win in the new car. So he probably has a big load, and now he's two-shade his teammate, Kyle Busch. Now he is big time at Gibbs.
Yeah, so that's the 5th win of the season for Joe Gibbs Racing, first for Denny Hamlin. Let's take a quick look at the highlights. We'll have much more later from the Sunoco Red Cross Pennsylvania 500, and by virtue of Tony Stewart going to a backup car, we started by points, but Tony went to the back of the pack, and we'll have much more on his day, which was very eventful as well. We had Jimmy Johnson and Jeff Gordon on the front, but very quickly, Denny Hamlin showed who was the boss. As a matter of fact, coming into this race, Denny Hamlin said on many occasions, we are coming here to win. But watch the troubles for 2nd in points. Jimmy Johnson, they have to go under the hood early in the race. He lost a lot of power on that number 48 Chevrolet, but the crew very calmly went to work, got Jimmy back out there, and he rebounded for a fantastic day. We got a lot more on that for Jimmy Johnson. But now as we see all the cars bunched up all over this racetrack, because everybody has something to prove here. We see Clint Boyer is in the lead, but here comes Denny Hamlin as Juan Pablo Montoya goes up the track. That was all Denny needed. He took the lead with 10 laps to go and never looked back as Denny Hamlin takes it away from Clint Boyer and was simply not to be denied today. His 3rd win on this big triangle. He swept back in 2006, but most significantly now as we get closer and closer for the chase for the championship cutoff, Denny Hamlin is back in victory lane, and also he's going to have 10 bonus points if he is fortunate enough to make the chase.
I can tell you this show is not long enough for you fans, for us to report everything that happened, Kenny. That was absolutely an astonishing day.
You know what sticks out at me? So many storylines. Tony Stewart running 35th. What's wrong? What's wrong? They said he had a sway bar hooked up in the rear. He finishes 10th. All of a sudden, where's Rudiman? Man, he's running 3rd. Rudiman gets wrecked by Denny Hamlin. All this stuff coming up later. So many storylines.
How about the 48 car? 3 laps down.
3 laps down. Finishes in the top 15.
12. Oh, incredible, Johnny.
Unbelievable day here at Pocono. Very eventful, but in the end, it was all about Denny Hamlin. After 46 races, he is back in victory lane. When we come back, we'll take you through the first 100 laps of this 500-miler.
NASCAR Victory Lane is presented by Travelodge, Recreate, Hibernate. Brought to you in part by Mike's Hard Punch. Mix up a whole new party. and by Ford. Different is good. Drive the Ford difference at your local Ford or Lincoln Mercury dealer.
It's the perfect storm of danger and speed. Don't miss the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series, presented by Valvoline in Speed HD. Live from Bristol, August 19th at 8 Eastern. NASCAR on Speed. Be there.
Introducing the Gatorade Limited Edition Jordan Series. Collect all 6. That's G.
This is your weekend? You serious?
Why are you in my yard?
Don't you want to get out there? I got hotels everywhere. Hit the road. You can go rafting, bird watching, wine tasting.
Okay.
Oh, roller derby.
Sure.
Man, there's all sorts of super destinations. You just gotta go. I'll feed you free breakfast.
Hey, to Patty'sGarage.com to play a few games and win some super prizes.
This is where everything you love about racing all comes together at once. This is the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series.
Welcome back, everyone, to Long Pond, Pennsylvania. The only winner on Sunday was the Pennsylvania rain as it washed out the first attempt at this race, but we came back today, and that's why we are sitting here on a Monday afternoon, and Denny Hamlin was the guy on this Monday as he climbs the steps to the winner's circle as he's going to get ready to hoist this trophy and celebrate a huge win for the number 11. This was the 21st race of the season, and that means as we started this day, there were only 6 races to go before the cutoff for the chase for the Sprint Cup. We had 2 Hendrick Motorsports teammates on the front row because Tony Stewart went to the back of the pack. Washed out qualifying, put the 12 championship contenders in the front of the pack. And here goes Jimmy Johnson. Looked like it was going to be another one of Jimmy Johnson's kind of days.
Yeah, and Saturday afternoon, everybody was in the garage here talking how strong this 48 car was. And right here, quickly, Kenny, he starts to establish it.
Yeah, I mean, you see Jeff Gordon second. Here comes Denny Hamlin third. Look at Tony Stewart here. He's coming through the pack, and we're thinking, what's going on with Tony Stewart now? You know, is he going to gain enough? But we just don't know yet.
Little bumping and banging going on as they're just, this is a very big track. There certainly isn't much real estate to deal with. Marcus Ambrose brushes the wall, and you know what? Marcus had a great run here last year. Last time we raced here, it wouldn't be that good this year.
And we're thinking at this point, you know, Michael Waltrip Racing is really strong. You know, I mean, we got Marcus, we got Ruderman, all these guys up in the top 10.
Good.
Competition yellow comes out with 20 laps into the race. This was scheduled by NASCAR because of the lack of practice time and washing all the rubber off the track. And take a look at the number 48 pit stop. This was before things went bad.
Now, he's running really well. You see the right rear. He's making major adjustments, Kenny. Major adjustments on the car. Very shocking, to tell you the truth.
Now, here was a guy who had redemption on his mind. Juan Pablo Montoya was a man on a mission after Indianapolis, and watch what happens here as Denny Hamlin shows from one of the first pit stalls as he pops out and beats Jeff Gordon and Jimmy Johnson out of the pits. And look at Denny check out after this. It looked like one of those times when he swept back in 2006.
Yeah, and quickly, you know, these 3 cars are starting to establish themselves. They're pulling away to big leads. But the thing that impressed me about Denny, Kenny, is it seemed like he could go really, really fast on these new tires. But look at that lead he pulls. And this is older tires. And look at the 48 here, Kenny. Loose.
Sideways. You know, the one thing about being loose is it's okay. But instead of going forward, you're going slideways. Talk about slideways. Dale Earnhardt Jr. struggled all day long. He was so loose. It was unbelievable. People still just saying, what is going on here? I mean, we're rooting him on, race fans. Here he comes to pit road.
You could even see him wiggle from that camera angle as he came down on pit road. 98 of Paul Menard in the Yates Ford as that tire carcass just simply comes off and checks out for the day.
You stole it from me. I wanted to say about the carcass as you see, and actually that brings out a caution.
I guess you're talking about other carcasses you see around here, around the Pocono racetrack. But that one was a tire, and it was costly for the number 98 and Paul Menard. And here comes the number 11 of Denny Hamlin, but he's being chased at this point by the 48.
And I must say, isn't it strange to see the leader on the front row outside? We are in a new era, Jimmy Spencer.
I agree with you, Kenny. I was shocked. You know, we saw Mark Martin lose the lead at Chicago, and here we see the guys that saying the outside groove is where to go.
Okay, now strange things can happen at times at this part of the country.
Pocono.
A piece of the caution light comes down on the racetrack, and you don't want that. That could definitely hurt your splitter if you hit that.
How long do you think that caution light?
I think the caution, I think the piece of the caution light actually got credited for leading that lap. But everybody's saying, get out of the way. Flagmen were pushing the drivers over, and the yellow flag came out. Let's go inside the pits now with the smoke. Tony Stewart. Now, the first 6 laps of this race, Tony Stewart had gained 12 positions. He, too, was a man on a mission.
Yeah, and you know, here we see another. Kenny, look at this adjustments these guys are making. Now remember, fans, these cars were impounded from yesterday. The track conditions were going to be cool, overcast. You saw the 48, you see the 14. Major chassis adjustments, Johnny.
A multiple-time winner on this racetrack, Bobby Labonte, goes for his first of several incidents here as he goes for a spin. And as the smoke comes out, guys did a great job avoiding him.
With the radial tire, you can only get so slideways. Once it gets past a point, you cannot continue to drive it like the old tire. Once you're just past a little point, you're in for the ride.
All the leaders to pit road right now, and we see some of the best in the business, the Overwall crew members, going to work. And take a look at your spot shadow as we see who stayed out. Tony Stewart, the number 14, elected not to pit, part of the strategy.
And what's interesting to me, fans, here, I bragged on his crew chief, Darian Grubb, but I will say this, that very impressive. This team is quickly becoming, to me, one of the strongest teams in the sport. Yeah, they're leading the points. They're having a lot of luck. But you know what? It's the leadership of Darian Grubb. Here, gutsy move. But you know what? A gutsy move won in the race last time. We'll see what happens today.
Okay, now we're not completely crazy. This is actually the truth that we're talking about right here. As Denny Hamlin continues to celebrate his win, Jimmy Johnson at this point in the race with 100 laps in the books was 3 laps down. Remember that as we go into the rest of this race. But guys, the calm demeanor on Chad Knaus's voice. Now, granted, they're second in points. They got a little room to work, but the calm demeanor and the calm work of that pit crew needs to be commended.
You know, they have stepped up their program. Yes, they're 3-time champions. And you say, oh, that's because their championship, they don't get excited. No, every week, every race, every year, it just consistently step it up. And those guys are absolutely the best at knowing each guy's position. You'll see later on. Fans, 3 laps down.
Okay, so here's what happens. Jimmy Johnson has a carburetor problem or spark plug problems. Only at a track like this. You could not do it at Martinsville. We'll see later. They changed everything, and we never figured out what it was that fixed it, but it was either the carburetor or the spark plugs. 3 laps down, makes them all up. The rest is incredible.
And, you know, we're going to show you 100 laps here quicker. That's what you want to watch. This next 100 laps, fans, absolutely the best race I've ever seen in Pocono.
All right, so let's now get you back to the second 100 laps of the race. After this break coming up here, we're going to take a look at Jimmy Johnson running in position number 35 as he worked his way back up through the field. We'll take a break here from Pocono and be back in just a moment.
It's Big Block Thursday on Speed. First at 8, peaks all out.
It's never been done in drag racing history before.
Then at 9, get jacked.
Bail out. They're not going to get away.
And on Wrecked at 10.
Looks like we got a problem.
Thursday beginning at 8 Eastern on Speed.
Has always craved a challenge, and Adam Richman travels the country to take on the biggest, beefiest, and boldest foods, one delicious bite at a time.
Wow, that's hot.
You have no idea
Living with a travel bug can be a challenge. Travel Channel's Man vs. Food. Check your local listings.
What project you working on today?
This.
We can help you with that.
Thanks. I'm just starting out, so I'm kind of on a budget.
We're good with budgets. You'll need one of these, at least. Pit crew,
Okay.
crew chief.
Cool.
Read this. And you'll need an owner. I recommend this one.
What about fans?
What do you say we start with 300,000 and go from there?
Whoa.
Helping people do more than they ever thought possible. That's the power of the Home Depot.
Would you like to put a stop?
Technology, education, career. How? Come to Tech Night at New England Tech. Find out how New England Tech can get you ready for a high-tech career with skills that are in demand. Come see our state-of-the-art classrooms, meet our instructors in a casual setting, talk about financial assistance. Tech Night is Tuesday, August 11th from 4 to 8 p.m. Call New England Tech at 467-7744. That's 467-7744. New England Tech, America's technical college.
Now, free on demand from WeTV and Cox Digital Cable. Every bride wants her big day to be unforgettable. For this season's Bridezillas, they'll get their wish.
I want a cake! You're not supposed to look better than me!
It's a new season of the WeTV hit series Bridezillas.
Oh, strip it off.
Catch all new episodes at 9 on WeTV's Wedding Sunday. And watch Bridezillas anytime the next day. Free on demand in My Prime Time from Cox Digital Cable.
On Speed at 8, it's Pinks all out as they make drag racing history at Charlotte Z-Max Dragway. Then at 9, get jacked as suspects on the run lead the Wolfpack on a dangerous foot chase. Then catch an all-new Wrecked at 10. Big Block Thursday beginning at 8 Eastern, only on Speed. As you see the grandstands emptying out here at Pocono. Gotta say, this race fans up here in Pocono came back in droves today as they got the chance to see Denny Hamlin win. And also now he's spraying some victory champagne. And guys, is he within firing range of us?
Unfortunately,
if he does, we have our umbrellas
all right, get
ready.
the umbrellas ready, because we're right now going to take a look at the next 100 laps. And I don't think he's looking at us. I think we're pretty safe.
That's very lame champagne. That's
yeah, it must not have been it must not have been too fizzed up, as Marcus Ambrose likes to say. Let's go back for the second 100 laps here as they take us to the end of this race, to the checkered flag. The number 9 of Casey Kane has won at this track before. Now he is out in the lead, but we must remember once again to remind you that the number 48 right now runs P35 3 laps down, and it seems like these cars run so well in clean air at this track.
And what's interesting now, fans, this is the second part of the race. This is the money time, the last 100. And we see Casey Kane, you know, they make the adjustments to their car, and you know what? Here he is, Kenny, strong, pulling away.
Back for more work under the hood of the number 48 car. This time, I believe it was the one where they went for the carburetor. They're down on the spark plugs, carburetor, checking everything out they can.
Well, right now, they don't know what is wrong. So they're spraying everything on each header to see if the header is hot. So do we have a cylinder down?
Marcus Ambrose coming off a great run at this track last time we were here. Gets a little loose there as makes maybe a little bit of contact.
Now, do you notice when he gets loose, he gets past. That's why this car is so hot. Look, when he gets sideways, he wasn't fast. So 2 cars go by him. Loose is not fast with these big cars.
Loses a lot of momentum there.
Don't see this too often. Jimmy Johnson goes another lap down as Casey Kane in the 9 passes him as the leader. So they needed a lot of help here for the 48 along the way, but that wasn't the kind of help they wanted. They didn't need the leader passing them.
Well, you know, right now the 48 Chad Knaus do a great job. They're like, okay, we know we have a problem, but just stay on the track. And here we go. You know, we get a caution with the 6 car. Not a caution yet, but it looked like one.
Well, Kenny, you know, he goes in the corner, he overshoots the corner, he gets up into the wall, and you know what? Fortunately for him, he's not hurt. He helps Jimmy Johnson. Now, this is when they decide to make the changes to the car, Johnny.
Now, this is a big track, so you do have a lot of time, so these guys knew that as veterans, and they went to work.
You know what I love about this? Any dirt track, you take it 10 minutes, change a carburetor. These guys take 30 seconds, change a carburetor. I loved it.
They are just good, and good wins championships.
Who's that guy out front, Johnny?
The Kid Martin from Batesville, Arkansas, as he takes the lead.
Hold on, isn't he too old? He's almost 51.
Yeah, he's too old. He's driving the whole time with his left turn signal on.
You know, what?
Not really.
What we're seeing here, though, fans, a lot of decisions making by these crew members. 2 tires, 4 tires, no tires, a lot of things. But here's trouble right over here in the tunnel turn. This, fans, I want to talk about the 7 car. It looks like a spin by itself, the 12 car into him. Listen to what Robbie Gordon here says.
12 is getting wrecked, okay? I don't care, NASCAR can park here, whatever, but he's getting wrecked. 2 times, he wrecked me in 1, and he wrecked me in 3.
Now, you know,
good idea, Robbie.
Let me tell you something. Have I been accused of helping people other times? Yes, I don't tell people. Robbie Gordon, don't tell people. Look at what he does. Now, give Robbie Gordon, Johnny, credit here. He says, listen, Strummy, I didn't like what you did. He bumps him once or twice, and then he goes on. All right, Strummy says, you know what, you dummy, you? I'm not done with you yet. I'm going to teach you a lesson. Well, you know what? Watch this, fans. Bam! Yeah. He spins him out. You know what? I believe, personally, I'd park him.
But can I say this? I say this?
They were parked.
Watch. They are parked.
There we go.
5 laps for each of them. 5 laps for each driver by NASCAR. David Stremme for aggressive driving. They said what happened. We didn't see it on camera, I don't believe. But what happened was Robbie did something under caution.
But can I say this? What they did is they penalized their teams. What you want to do is you want to go on the RV lot after the race.
Leave the air other tires.
And you want to punch each other out. Now Stremme lost his 20th.
Children, don't listen to these two.
I mean, you don't want to give up a 20th place finish. Now they're down 5 laps and the whole day's over. What do you think Penske and Gordon are thinking now?
Well, they finished 32nd and 35th.
Yeah, but Penske's proud of his other driver, Kurt Busch. Kurt Busch, the guy that led the most laps ever, 175 to go on to win. He takes the lead, and he starts to pull away.
Now, here's what we are talking about with 35 laps to go. The number 42 using a little road course strategy as they pit, and they were very confident in this. It would pay off. But what you got to look at when we get back out on the racetrack, guys, is how much is going on this track. We have dicing and fighting and 4 wide, 3 wide, everybody fighting for position.
Now look at this, fans, 3 wide. Denny Hamlin, watch this.
Oops.
Bam, he spins the 0-0. Guess what? Michael Waltrip loses 2 cars there. I think NASCAR really needed to look at that situation. They obviously did. They didn't do nothing. But for me personally, this probably took the 0-0 out of the top 12. And my point is NASCAR, I think that when you take Stremme and you take Gordon, and you give him a 5-lap penalty, I truthfully believe, and I'm looking forward to asking Denny what happened, but I think NASCAR should have done something over this.
The 33 of Clint Bowyer is in the lead right now, and boy, does Richard Childress Racing sorely need a win at this time of the season, as does Clint Bowyer. You got to go back some 46 races for him for the last time that he won.
Hey, Brady, this is the thing I'm talking about here. Look at these restarts, 2, 3, 4 wide racing.
I mean, this is what it's all about. The fans have got what they want. We've got double file restarts. And we've got, you know, a race for the chase. Now watch this. Oh, gosh. Look at Bobby Labonte. Bobby, this was the hardest hit he's taken in a long time. Thank God for the soft walls. Everybody, silhouette at the same time, bangs into the wall.
Wait,
Michael Waltrip.
Yeah, Michael Waltrip involved. But, you know, here it is, fans. The 6th car, the UPS car, evidently needs a pair of glasses. Because he didn't, I mean, he just drives in the back of Bobby Labonte for no reason. And in turn, cost Joey Logano, all these guys a good run today.
10 laps to go. Juan Pablo Montoya in tow. We see Clint Bowyer fighting with Denny Hamlin for every inch of the racetrack. Denny Hamlin was not to be denied.
Yeah, but Denny Hamlin knows he sees this 42 target car coming, Ken.
Man, I'm going to tell you what, race fans. Look at this. This is less than 10 to go. 3 bumper to bumper. Now look, here comes Juan Pablo to the checkered flag. So this is the checkered flag winner, Denny Hamlin, and Juan Pablo solidifies himself in the top 12 in the points.
This is Denny Hamlin's 5th career win, 3rd at this racetrack, and he is very exhausted, obviously, after that day. Let's take a look at the results, and congratulations to Juan Pablo Montoya. Bounces back from disappointment to come back to finish P2.
Juan Pablo Montoya has been very consistent. He is doing great.
Well, I believe Juan Pablo, if his crew works on it last week, he wins the Brickyard. But anyway, Clint Bowyer, they needed this run. Sam Hornish. Yes, Casey Kane needs this run. But you know what, fans? Look at this. Mark Martin, top 10 finish, loses a place in the points.
Tony Stewart from last to 10th. Not bad at all. Kenseth Harvick had a good run, and Jimmy Johnson to go 3 laps down and finish 13. Hats off.
And here's the Biff after a 2nd place or 3rd place finish at the Brickyard. He finishes 16th.
Now we get down to where some cars had some trouble. David Reagan, Scott Speed, all involved in somewhat of a melee. We saw Paul Menard in the Yates Ford lose that tire, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. only in the top 30.
Again, but you know what? Something's going to happen with this 07 car. I believe there will be a change down the road. This team is not working out.
All right, Michael Waltrip in the 55, not indicative of where he ran for part of the day. 31st, Stremme, Robbie Gordon, 32nd, 33rd. And on back in the field, we got Gilliland, Tony Raines, and Mike Wallace. Let's take a look at the points now. And here's where it really gets interesting. We have 21 of the 36 races down. That means we have 5 to go for the championship chase. And Kenny Wallace, if I'm not mistaken, you could count that on one hand.
I'm going to tell you what, you know me, I know these guys are up front and they're heroes, but it's all about these guys down here. 12th spot, look at the biff.
But you know what? Fans make fun of Juan Pablo. Consistency. He's up to 8th now, and he's got about 75-point cushion there.
Can I say something about Juan Pablo? He has gone on the record the last month and said, look, I am going to be very consistent because I want to be in the top 12 in the points. What other driver goes on the record and goes, hey, I'm going to do this? And he has told us all. I mean, what a fun guy. You know, a lot of good articles. We're all trying to get to know him. He's from Bogota, Colombia. Juan is good for the sport.
And he's also very entertaining throughout the race on the radio. It is now time now for our Valvoline section of the show where we talk about guaranteeing the win. And nobody guaranteed the win like this number 11 pit crew and crew chief Mike Ford. They elected for 4 tires, and that propelled Denny Hamlin on to his 3rd win ever at the Pocono Raceway. Denny's coming by to talk to us.
It's the greatest show on dirt. Don't miss the World of Outlaws Sprint Car Series from Eldora, the Kings Royal. Sunday at 5 Eastern, only on Speed.
They make little hearts happy. And big hearts happy too. Because as part of a heart-healthy diet, those delicious oats and Cheerios can help naturally lower cholesterol. Cheerios. How can something so little help you do something so big?
It's amazing what these guys can do with these cars. They don't have sponsors, they don't have flash, they don't have tons of money. What they do have is determination and some of the toughest, most reliable auto parts in the industry. On this show, I ask them to do one thing: go all out. They need parts they can count on to do the same. Napa, get the good stuff.
Welcome back to Pocono Raceway, everyone, and this is a great racetrack for Denny Hamlin. Back in 2006, he swept the season races, but he also did it from the pole, and now when this team needed a win at the worst time, Denny Hamlin went out there clearly with the fastest car. Clearly a great job today. And Denny, we're very sorry to hear about your grandmother. I know this is a very emotional week for you, but what a better way to follow it up than with a win for you and your team.
Yeah, it's a big win for us, not only for the timing of how long it's been since our last win and, how many races we've let slip away with a couple to go, but, this is what we should have proved, this is what we didn't get to show here about a month ago because the first lap had a mechanical issue. Last week, I don't think anyone had any idea how fast we were because on the first run we broke again, but we were going to be really good there. So, we had a couple extra passengers today with my grandmother and my tire guy Patrick Mullen. His mother passed away, last week. So it was emotional, and at times I wasn't myself out there on the racetrack, and obviously that's what happened when I got in the 00. I was just so impatient trying to get to the front that I just was trying to do everything I could to win a race.
Denny, you were one of the guys high up in the points, no wins, some 40-some races. How nervous were you when, as fast as you've been, and you said it last time here at Pocono, Indianapolis, so many places, and just into the garage area with the failures. How nervous were you guys saying, listen, what are we doing wrong?
I knew performance wasn't going to keep us out of the chase. It was going to be mechanical failures. And, reliability is number one, thing that we work on at Joe Gibbs Racing. And, it doesn't always work out. It seems like our team always finds the one crazy thing that can go wrong. It seems like we find it, but our whole FedEx team, we had an awesome race car today, and then we were going to let it slip away with 50 to go. We put 2 tires on, and I was going backwards. That was terrible. And, next thing you know, we put 4 back on it and 14th place with about 30 to go, and here we come.
Denny, I know how mentally exhausting this whole year has been for you. I mean, I'm looking at you right now. I can just see. Tell me what you've been through the last 6 months. I can tell it.
Well, I mean, I went into this year saying I was sick of being the guy that, was dominating and then couldn't finish. And I felt it again today. I said, with 50 to go, I felt like, damn it, I'm going to be that guy again. Why? I don't understand why. How come, you can't finish the deal? And, it's just our car did not like the 2 tires when we put them on, and when we started sliding back to about 8th. And I said, we got to put 4 tires on, and, we just, things worked out. I drove aggressively at times to get back to the front, and other times I just, I don't know how the car did the things that it did, but we made the pass and made the win. How concerned were you with the 42 right there? Well, we had gotten around him. I think him and the 9 got into each other, but I felt like we had better tires than those guys, and I felt like once I could get out front, I could just coast. There was no pressure once I got out front. We could just run.
I just want to say how happy I am for you. I know what it's like to be in this sport, me and Spence too, and how much pressure you've put on yourself. Congratulations, I'm happy for you.
Yeah, it's my greatest day so far. It really is.
Is it really? Today is.
It just, with the expectations and the pressure everyone puts on us to win races, and how much I put on myself, and to finally get the job done and drive back up to the front, not just go out there and lead every lap.
Here's what I have to say. Yay!
I got a question now. Let's face it, Denny. Last year, what a phenomenal year for Gibbs Racing. This year, man, into dumps. How do you guys keep your emotion? How did you just come week in and week out saying, okay, we're going to do good, and then you get flabbergasted again?
Well, I feel like I've been in the sport long enough to know what it takes to keep guys going. Before, when we'd have those mechanical failures, I'd sit there and I'd say, we suck at this, we're terrible at that, we don't do a good job, but I know everyone's doing everything they can. We feel like week in, week out, we're the next best car to Hendrick each and every week. We really are. And, I agree. We're slowly working our way to where those guys are at, and me and Mike and the whole team, the engineering, the motors, everyone's starting to get a little bit better, and it's because of communication. We're having meetings, we're figuring out what we need to do to get better, and that's the only way we can do this is to get those drivers in there to the race shops and figure out what's wrong.
Work today.
Yep, well, Denny, obviously everybody did a great job today. Congratulations on the win. Good job, great driving out there, and we wish you all the best as we head into the chase. And also, Bank of America wants to send out a special congratulations to Denny Hamlin for his victory today at Pocono. Congratulations to Denny from NASCAR Banking, only from Bank of America. And when we come back, we'll get the man up here who made all the right calls today. Crew Chief Mike Ford joins us next. Congratulations to driver Denny Hamlin.
It's Big Block Thursday on Speed. First at 8, peaks all out.
It's never been done in drag racing history before.
Then at 9, get jacked.
Bail out. Bail out and not get away. And unwrecked at 10. We're turning up Rob. Thursday beginning at 8 Eastern on Speed.
Friday, NASCAR twists and turns its way to Watkins Glen, where NASCAR's biggest names stop by for the ultimate Friday night out party. Don't miss NASCAR trackside with Forrest Sand and Max Pappas. Friday at 7 Eastern, NASCAR on Speed. Be there.
I didn't want anyone to know that I was secretly having someone else find someone for me. When you own your business, there's no time to go out. So I went on eHarmony to let them find Mr. Right for me.
Review your matches for free. eHarmony.com. After years of research and proven results on the racetrack, Z-Max Micro Lubricant made its way to the professional mechanic. Today, it's the only micro lubricant product available to everyone. Z-Max Micro Lubricant is used with your favorite motor oil. It soaks into metal, resulting in better fuel mileage, smoother engine performance, and extended engine life. Z-Max. 60 years of reliable, proven performance. To purchase, go to zmax.com or get it today at these fine retailers.
10 years ago, Victory set out to build the industry's best bikes. And now, we're backing them up with the industry's best warranty. At least one thing will hold up to how hard you ride. Now you can ride with even more confidence. In addition to the 5-year warranty, Victory's offering payment protection to keep you riding in case the economy tries to slow you down. Victory, the new American motorcycle.
Fuel up for a wild adventure with the free Bear Bites breakfast at Travelodge. Grab some Folgers, Minute Maid, Kellogg's. Grab a fast bite for free. Book now at Travelodge.com.
Welcome back to Pocono, where we raced on a Monday because of rain, but it was not too late to race for the number 11 FedEx Express team as we see the winning car and several members of the winning team go into post-race inspection. And now we have the winning crew chief out on the set with us here in Victory Lane. And Mike Ford, as much pressure as a driver feels when he's not in Victory Lane where he thinks he should, that must be sometimes tenfold on the crew chief who's supposed to put him there.
Yeah, it's very difficult. You know, this is not like a stick and ball sport where you're competing against one other team. You're competing against 42 others, and it's very difficult to win at this level, and to be able to close the deal after not winning for so long, very important for all of us. You know, especially at this point in the season, going into the chase, we've been working very hard to try and peak at this point, and even a little bit later. So very encouraging for all of us, and you know, it is frustrating at times, but you know, that it makes the highs even higher when you do close the deal.
Frustration has to be the key. I mean, as strong as Gibbs was last year, and then all the failures they've had, and I don't want to say failures, you know, Mike, but you didn't have the finishes at all.
Yeah, I mean, if you kind of look at it, we've run really well. Some of the times the last 6 races we've had a couple failures, but other than that, that's been about it this year. But early in the year, performance wasn't as good as what it is right now, and that's kind of the monkey the last couple years. Is we started off really strong, and you know, you reach this point in the year, and you're working on setting up more of what you already have, and then you get past getting into the chase. So. Not that we intentionally didn't run well at the beginning of the year, but we're intentionally setting up to run good from here out this season.
Mike, congratulations. Through the hard times, have your driver and you ever got into any verbal confrontations at this high level of this sport?
Respectfully, we have. You know, and you
like you yell at each other? You got mad?
Not yell.
I like
not
respectfully.
Yell, but you know, question each other and you know, get a consistent direction. There are times when you start going one way and it doesn't work, so you have to reel back, and it takes, you know, the key word is respect, and it takes that in a crew chief and driver combination to be able to question each other, you know, without hurting feelings, because, you know, we're on this mission together, and you have to work together at it.
As big of a word as respect is, Mike, I'm sure leadership is just as big a word at Joe Gibbs Racing. I mean, you guys can just go up the ladder all the way to the top to the coach for inspiration and also for leadership.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and we've got a very strong race team. I think it goes underestimated at times, and you know, you get encouragement. You know, like last week, you know, very frustrating for me. That is the biggest race of the year, and to have an issue come up, you know, very devastating, and to get support from each other that you know that you're going to rebound strongly is the key thing, and that's very important at this level, because if you dwell on things, then odds are you're not going to compete.
You know, Mike, the question I have is that, yeah, we're over this part of the season now. We're down to 5 to go. What are you going to focus on? This here, I think, secures you guys a shot to chase. I think you were on the line, like, with the failure last week at Indy. Like, uh-oh, I'm in trouble here. Now I think it solidifies the chase. Now what do you focus on as a team going into New Hampshire?
You know, personally, I don't look at points.
Okay.
I look at how you run and what your issues are. And I say not look at points, but that's not an objective.
Yeah.
You know, you want to perform. And we left Loudon there a few weeks ago, and quite frankly, kind of disappointed in how we ran. And, you know, that Monday morning, we came back and set out about a 3-page list of things that we want answers to. And we've been working on Loudon very hard ever since. So, you know, we're not setting up to show up to Loudon and try and put a setup in the car. We're looking to build better race cars. We're going to take a better race car when we go back to Loudon and probably have a completely different setup. But we feel like we're breaking down every racetrack inside the chase and working on it. And it comes down to build better race cars. You know, it's pretty simple, you know, power, weight, and driver. So, you know, we're working on all those issues right now. You know, call them issues, but stuff that you work on continually. So just picking up the pace a little bit.
Well, Mike,
congratulations and good luck in the chase.
All right, Mike, as all goes as planned, you got 10 bonus points when you go into the chase, so congratulations. Way to go here today. Crew Chief Mike Ford, and clearly I think we can say today that the fastest car won this race. Sometimes we can't say that, but the best car today drove into victory lane. We'll be back with much more in a moment.
The fastest game show in prime time is Fast Time. Come on down. The rule is simple. Name the time. Win the cash. Fast Time with all new back-to-back episodes Wednesday night at 9 Eastern. Presented in Speed HD.
Are you and your gray hair facing an identity crisis?
My hair says experience. My hair says energy.
Touch of Gray. The best of both combs away a little gray, never too much, just right.
Now I look like I know what I'm doing and can still do it.
Touch of Gray.
Fuel up for a wild adventure with the free Bear Bites breakfast at Travelodge. Grab some Folgers, Minute Maid, Kellogg's. Grab a fast bite for free. Book now at Travelodge.com.
Aren't exactly here to take it easy. They're out here pushing their cars to the absolute limit, knowing that anything can happen. I asked these guys to run their cars all out. They want them to get up and run as quickly as you can. So I tell them to go to Napa. Remember, at Napa, you get the good stuff.
If you're remodeling any portion of your house, you can't afford
Technology, education, career. How? Come to Tech Night at New England Tech. Find out how New England Tech can get you ready for a high-tech career with skills that are in demand. Come see our state-of-the-art classrooms. Meet our instructors in a casual setting. Talk about financial assistance. Tech Night is Tuesday, August 11th from 4 to 8 p.m. Call New England Tech at 467-7744. That's 467-7744. New England Tech, America's technical college.
Visit Channel 1, Free Zone On Demand, and watch programs for free anytime you want. Now showing in Cox Local On Demand, Cox in the Community. Tune in now and learn more about Crossroads Rhode Island. Crossroads Rhode Island is the state's leading provider of services to the homeless and disconnected. Learn more about how this organization effectively moves individuals and families out of homelessness for good. It's on right now, On Demand. Free Zone, Cox Local On Demand, Cox in the Community.
Everyone, where there's as big of a race as the 500-miler is the race to get out of here in traffic. Now, Juan Pablo Montoya had disappointment in Indy, and perhaps one of the most disappointing things we've seen so far this season, but he came back to Pocono with redemption on his mind, and that was exactly what he got. Let's go to Bob Dillner.
It was a heck of a dogfight at the end of this race, and here was one of the guys that was trying to bite the rest of the competition, Juan Pablo Montoya. Good run for you. First top 5 of the year, not too shabby.
No, you know, this is probably my worst racetrack, and I finished 8th and 2nd here. Both races, I can't complain. You know, you just show how strong, you know, a target team and everybody organized is working and where the team is heading is exciting. You know, we need, you know, as many points as we can take before going, you know, into the last few races, so you can relax a little, you know. I mean, if we can grow that gap into 13 places big.
Here's what I want to know. The gap between you and 13th place right now, you're in 8th, and it's like 165 or 169 points. That's nice because you got basically a little bit of room to breathe.
You know, next week, if we get a top 5 next week, then we can grow that. and then we can relax a little. You know what I mean? We don't want to really back her down, but we got to just keep doing the same thing.
First top 5 of the season for Juan Pablo Montoya, but his 7th top 10 in the last 9 races.
I love Juan Pablo Montoya because he's from Bogota, and he says consistency, and Juan Pablo Montoya. He's so much fun to be around, race fans. And look at this. This is the big thing. He might win next week. You know why? He's on a roll. He's got that confidence. He's already won a road course race a year or 2 ago at Sears Point. He's run real well. Guys, I think he's in the driver's seat right now. I think the only thing to take him out is part failure.
Well, I think the bright side is this: is he's proud to tell you he's part of this Ganassi DEI team. We need these guys to have a good year. You know, Martin's leaving them. They fielded 4 teams last year. They fielded 3 teams for Ganassi last year. Now we have 7 teams down to 2, only 1 driver. This is a bright side. We need this. I hope Juan goes to the Glen next week, has a solid day. Good for the sport, guys.
Because we're going to show you right now by the numbers just what a solid day can do for you when it comes to this top 12 in points right now. Juan Pablo Montoya moved up 2 positions, and look at that big gap between the number 42 and that red line. That's got to feel good for those guys.
Yeah, 169, Kenny. That is a very good position to be in going into the last 5.
Hey, listen to this, race fans. We asked Mark Martin, how many points do you want to be ahead of 13th spot? He said on our show, 150. Hey, Mark Martin, you're 160 ahead now. He's got to be a happy camper.
But you know what?
That's a good margin right there because you're almost looking at a whole race, fairly close to a whole race.
And unfortunately for David Runeman, I think that this probably was the nail in the coffin. Jeff Burton, no way. But you know what, guys? Don't underestimate Boyer with what I saw today. And Vickers, you know, hey, I might have to swallow this, but he's only 100 and some out, Johnny. So, you know, he's got a shot.
And once again, we say this all the time, but it bears repeating. If somebody's going to get in the top 12, somebody else has to fall out. You don't want to wish ill on your competitors, but somebody's going to have to fall out.
Look for the official NASCAR hologram whenever you're shopping and earn free stuff every time you deposit your hologram code online at NASCAR.com/hologram.
Drivers of a different breed. Outlaws, tempting fate and pushing limits. One wrong move, one mistake can become a pile of twisted metal. It's the greatest show on dirt. Don't miss the World of Outlaws Sprint Car Series from Eldora, the Cage Royal. Sunday at 5 Eastern, only on Speed.
Come on, Tony Stewart. Oh, God.
That was me. Tony Stewart. Before I started using swagger from Old Spice. Now look at me. Thanks, Old Spice.
Introducing the Gatorade Limited Edition Jordan Series. Collect all 6. That's G.
You call this a challenge?
But can you take it when the people tell you that you're going down, 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 always down? You know you live your life, you pick it up, you put it back, down, down.
My kind of odds.
Adam Richmond travels the country and takes on the biggest, baddest, and boldest foods one delicious bite at a time. Travel Channel's Man vs. Food. Check your local listings.
August 19th on Speed, the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series storms into Thunder Valley. The world's toughest trucks will clash on the world's fastest half mile. Don't miss the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series live from Bristol, August 19th at 8 Eastern, NASCAR on Speed. Be there. Now, the true mark of a championship team is how well they bounce back from adversity. Well, that's exactly what the number 48 team calmly did today, going 3 laps down and ended up finishing in the top 15. Let's go back to Bob.
Halfway through this race, this guy here, 35th spot, 3 laps down, and then he winds up finishing 13th. Almost had a top 10 there at the end, battling with your teammate and Kurt Busch. But I think the best word to describe this day, Jimmy, and would you agree with me, is salvaged?
Yeah, definitely. We had to overcome a lot of adversity today, and it hurt being down 3 laps. But luckily, it was such a big track where we had time to work on the car, and finally at the end we started changing spark plugs and finally found one that was something was wrong with it, and the car started running. And then we got some cautions, and it kind of came our way. So I felt like we should have finished in the top 10 there. I pounded the wall off of 2 late in the race and bent up the right side of the car, and the car wasn't really handling right after that. But it was fun to go out there and really, come from 25th to 10th or whatever it was in a short few laps.
How hard is it to keep your composure throughout this race with everything that you guys went through?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I think at times we all had to take control and calm each other down. So it just kind of flipped back and forth between Chad or myself.
Jimmy Johnson with a good day, with the fact that he salvaged a good finish today, guys.
The thing is, fans, is that as you saw in that video, that is not just bam, wham, let's roll here. This is practice. These guys practice. Those motormen, they're not normal pit crew members. That's the motormen.
Practice?
This team, 3 championships in a row. It's incredible. That way, Kenny, they practice.
No, I'm making fun of Allen Iverson.
Watch
it's funny.
This. Oh, okay.
Practice?
I know, but look at this, Kenny.
But
you
this
know what
is
I'm
practice
saying?
makes perfect.
And this, guys, listen, fans, they're putting spark plugs in a motor that's 220 degrees, 240 degrees of water temperature. Headers are pushing 600-700 degrees. Give these guys credit.
And Spence, I think some of the motor competitions that they hold throughout the year, I think that it helps these guys. Obviously being precise, building a motor is everything. I mean, within thousands, but here they are, and Spence, you're right. I mean, can you believe they do practice this stuff? I mean, remember years ago, I told you, Jeff Gordon practiced leaving the pits at Martinsville. When you get caught in practice leaving the pits? Yes, they do. They practice changing spark plugs. My brother, Rusty Wallace, broke a spark plug to win the World 600 back years ago. And the next day, they went to Rockingham to find out what had happened. So there are practices for things that are just unreasonable you would never dream of.
And you're only as good as your plan B, but it seems like Hendrick Motorsports, especially the 48 team, has a plan B, a plan C, a plan D. They have everything in line, because it wasn't too long ago where your backup car was somewhat of a throwaway. Now the backup cars are every bit as good as the primary cars, and also these guys are so highly skilled and trained, and there's so many people to fix a problem.
Yeah, and can I just say this? One of the reasons the 48 does rebound so good is because his car is just simply fast. Starts 23rd, passed 8 cars on the first lap. He probably went to the high lane in the dirt, and nobody else would go up there. And he does it, Spence.
The big thing that I see with the Hendrick organization, and we heard it earlier in the show with, Denny saying this, that we're that close to him. They are the team to beat. There's no question that Mr. Hendrick has done a fantastic job putting these people in charge. Chad Knaus is one of the best there is. He just does an awesome job of controlling his people, controlling his driver. He does a great job in leadership. And the thing is that if you have a good leader, it just makes the whole team prosper.
And the first thing we said during the race is when we were watching it, we said, can you believe how calm Chad Knaus is over the radio? And that calmness translated to the crew, and that fixed him, and like Bobby said, salvaged what could have been a terrible day into a top 15 finish, and that's what championship caliber teams are made of.
Be careful, fans. 4 in a row is very possible.
Next weekend, NASCAR twists and turns its way to Watkins Glen. Can Casey Kane make all the right turns for a clean sweep of the road courses? As the race to the chase intensifies, coverage begins Friday with NASCAR Live at 11 Eastern.
Thursday, Pink's All Out makes drag racing history.
Fire 'em up and let's race!
With the first ever televised 4-lane showdowns.
That's all out race!
Pink's All Out, part of Big Rock Thursday at 8 Eastern, presented in Speed HD.
All right, so you're driving down the freeway doing about 60 when you notice the guy next to you is steering with his knees, eating a cheeseburger and talking on the phone. And that is exactly why the Ford F-150 is the safest truck in America. It's got a high-strength steel safety cage, side impact airbags, safety canopy, 5-star crash rating, and roll stability control. Because it's not just crazy out there, it's certifiably insane, okay? It's not just a pickup truck. It's a Ford F-150.
What your child brings back from an RV trip is more than you can possibly imagine. What will you discover? Go RVing. Visit GoRVing.com for a free video and see an RV dealer.
You know you love NASCAR.
Attention computer shoppers with past credit problems. If you've had past credit problems and want to make a change, call now. All you need is an active checking account and you're approved for our program. Bankruptcy, liens, divorce, or job loss, it doesn't matter. You're approved. We'll get you that new computer you always wanted and report on your credit so you can start to get it back on track. Call now and with your paid order, we'll add a free color printer, free MP3 music player, and a free LCD TV. You heard right. Free printer, free MP3 player, and a free LCD TV. Call now and tell us where you want your brand new computer and free gift shipped today.
Presented by Travelodge. Recreate, hibernate. Brought to you by the auto parts experts at AutoZone. Get in the zone, AutoZone. And by NASCAR Banking, only from Bank of America. Your debit card, your credit card, your driver. Learn more at a Bank of America Banking Center today.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Pocono Raceway, where we're racing on a Monday because of rain on Sunday, but that did not slow down Clint Bowyer and the number 33. One of the best parts about this race today was the fact that we didn't know who was going to be the winner until the closing laps, and it looked for a while like Clint could come home with the win. He still finished in the top 5, and after the race, he spoke with Bob Dillner.
It's been a while since we've seen this guy, Clint Bowyer, up here in the top 5, but let's talk about the end of that race. A little strategy there, but at the same time, man, you were just hanging on, weren't you?
Yeah, we were. I mean, our car was tore up. Hartford Chevrolet, it had it, and once we got a track position where we could go, unfortunately, I'd beat the fenders off of it. Newman got into me down there and won, and knocked me in the fence and just kind of tore it up. I think it bent to rear end housing, but all in all, gutsy call. I'm really proud of Shane. This is the kind of stuff that we need to do, try to make it back in this chase. So, we got a top 5s, and, here on out, and I feel like we're still not out of this thing. We've got some good tracks. We got to get through Watkins Glen here next week, and feel like we can still have a shot at this thing.
You don't want to be like Joe Namath and make a guarantee that Clint Bowyer is making the chase, do you?
No, I don't. I mean, we got a lot of work to do. We're losing a lot of track position on pit road, and we got to fix that. You can't be a halfway team. You got to be solid all the way through to be able to run with these guys week in and week out. And we have the potential and we have the right people. We just got to make sure that we help them progress just like we do.
A top 5 for Clint Bowyer. His last one came 15 races ago at Martinsville.
Bob, thanks a lot. And as you take a look at these numbers here, let us explain to you what they are. On the top, it's the Sonoma finish from 2009 for these chase contenders. On the bottom line, it's the Watkins Glen finishes from 2008 to see what kind of road course racers these guys are as we head into the last so-called wild card of this chase, race to the chase.
Yeah, and I don't think this is a big story right here. We know Tony Stewart, Jimmy Johnson, Jeff Gordon, Kurt, Denny now are all locked in. But yet all of them had good days if you look both times, except for Gordon, and I think that was the problem. But the next one's going to be really interesting, Kenny. This is where you said the wild card, and boy, I agree with you.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. I am completely surprised with Casey Kane, because if you would have told me Casey Kane would have won Sonoma or would do good at Watkins Glen, I would have said no way. But he's proved us wrong.
And why Mark Martin's 20th finish in Watkins Glen there is in yellow. The last time Mark Martin raced at Watkins Glen was in 2006 in the old car.
And what's interesting here is Newman. You would think that he would have better finishes now at the Glen, and he got hurt again today at Pocono, Kenny. So he's not looking forward to the Glen next week.
Big numbers on this last page here for some of these drivers going into the road course.
Yeah, and the big thing here, guys, is these are the guys that's racing for the top 12. Matt and Greg, ooh, not that great. Kyle Busch, he won last year at the Glen. But Kenny, you know what? These guys here need to have a good day at the Glen.
Yeah, the Biff, has got a 100-point lead over 13th. He's got to make proper laps. I mean, the Biff, We're rooting you on, Biff, but you got to make the proper laps at the Glen. I don't know about going for it. You only got a 100-point advantage.
Now, here's the problem about the Glen. They have the so-called kiddie litter, or the gravel. There's places at the Glen where you can go off course, and you are stuck there, waiting and watching everybody else you're racing for a chase spot go by you.
And you know the big thing there, guys, and Kenny, you and I both raced there. You know, fans, the big thing that you'll see at the Glen is all the areas that they can make mistakes. This isn't a normal racetrack with 4 turns. This baby's got 10 turns. A lot of places, braking, shifting, a lot of places to make mistakes.
I think a person's got to choose his battles, and a person that can heel toe in case of a wheel hop that can use that clutch, that might be the favorite.
Can't wait.
Can't wait for the Glen because it's the true wild card in the race for the chase. We only have 5 races to go now. After this race here at Pocono on a Monday, Denny Hamlin was victorious. So congratulations to the 11 team and Joe Gibbs Racing as they got their 5th of the season. Denny's 3rd at Pocono, and now we pack this whole thing up and head to Watkins Glen. Coverage starts at 11 a.m. Eastern Time.